HVAC Shop Talk is brought to you by Refrigeration Technologies, the very best in HVAC chemicals. Whether you need coil cleaners, thread and gasket sealants, or a way to apply your coil cleaner, and much more, use Refrigeration Technologies. Find out more at refrigetech.com.
A younger boss interacting with an older tech, like a veteran tech, because that dynamic can be kind of awkward. And I know you moved into that situation recently because you had an older tech who you happen to know previously, correct? So returning to your position, which was, is it higher than his position technically?
Yeah.
So how did you deal with that? Was there any issues kind of falling into that role?
No, I think it's just, I think it's mostly proving your worth, you know, like proving that the knowledge is there and that you're capable of doing the job. I think that was the big thing. And I try to, I don't want to be that guy that just sits up in front of a training meeting and says, you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you need to do this. And I'm not in the field. I'm not proving that I know what I'm talking about, you know, certain topics and this and that. So I try to make it a point to be in the field with them as much as I can. And like when I go to installs, I get in there and install with them, you know, because I'm a firm believer in, you know, in order to get respect, you know, you gotta get in there and prove that you know what you're doing and that you're willing to work, and you're not some dude just showing up on the job site of, yeah, that looks like crap, fix that, you know. I'm just not that guy. So I think it's just being hands on and, you know, interacting with them.
So that's the solution. If you have a guy like that, you feel the best thing to do is just get your hands dirty and prove to him that you can do his job, and that's why you deserve your job. What do you think about that, Bryan? You've been in that position before.
I have, and I think there are times that is a good response. I still have that inclination, but the reality is, and I've learned this time and time again, is that people who constantly want you to prove yourself to them, they're probably not going to work out great anyway.
No.
It's just not how it works. And the reality is that you know, those of us who have done this a long time, we've spent a good portion of our lives working on equipment. Now, again, are there leaders, are there owners who haven't? Yes, and that's a different thing, and that's not what we're talking about here. But for those of us who have done it, and we've done installs, and we've sweat and bled, and we've worked late nights, and we've been on call, and we've done all that stuff, we don't need to prove to somebody who's, you know, been in the trade, you know, significantly less than us or is working for us, that we still know how to do it. I think sometimes we need to do that for ourselves, and that's good. I still enjoy doing that from time to time. But that's really mostly what that is. Most people who are good, solid people understand that if you've built a business or you're in a position where you can show your technical chops when you need to, that you don't need to constantly be proving yourself to them. But I get what you're saying. And when I was a training manager at that other company before I started Kalos, that was necessary because I hadn't been in the field that long. And I was teaching a lot of people who were significantly older than me. And in those circumstances, that was absolutely the right thing to do, was to hop in the truck or show up on the job site and just get out there and work to demonstrate that I was willing to do it.
I think my big thing is I wasn't at this company from day one. You know, I wasn't in management to begin with. This is these guys know the backstory, but Bryan, this is the company that I originally started off as. This is where I started off as a install helper. Right. Over 10 years ago. And when I left, I was an installer. And I went on and become service and become management other places and a comfort advisor and all these things. And then now I have moved back home and I've took a management job back at this original company. And 99.9% of the people are new. Right. So they don't know me. They hear about that I know what I'm doing and that, you know, I'm certified in this, and this. But I felt like it was kind of one of those things where I'm the new guy coming in, and even though I'm moving into management, and clearly they trust the owner to make the right decision, it's kind of like I'm gonna kind of prove that I know what I'm talking about to these guys. That way, maybe they'll actually listen and they understand I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
There's just this impulse, I think, with people who are good at what they do that people will respect them if they prove it. And it's just funny how, because I still have that impulse that's still in me, but even given, like, I'll wake up some mornings and just feel like I don't know what, like, I'll feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I'll feel like I have to prove something to people, and then I just gonna get just shake yourself up, like, no, like, come on. We all have a job to do, and my job is to do my job, whatever that job is at the moment in the period, the state of the business. And there's certainly nothing wrong with getting in and working hands-on, because that's the best way people learn and the best way to teach anyway. And so that's perfectly valid. And I feel best when I'm working with my hands. It nothing feels better than getting out there and actually doing something yourself. But the sense that I think sometimes in leadership, as we continue to progress, the sense that we need to prove ourselves, sometimes, at least for me, is in my own head, and less about what that actual person is actually thinking. And if they are thinking it, they're probably not a great fit anyway, because that's just a silly thing to think.
Yeah, I can see that.